Auditioning. Thug number one, thug number two.
For slaves.
Prostitute.
There's always the hustler.
Literate basketball players.
Mary had a little lamb.
The thug.
The only narrative that they understand of black life is drug addict, drug dealer, gang member.
I was the hottest black actor in the world after Poison Ivy. There were people clamoring to work with this young sensation as long as he did the roles they wanted him to do, which were street kids.
I had been in this thing that is a masterpiece of American cinema, and nobody gave a shit. They really didn't give a fuck.
I auditioned for my first pimp part. The mother's all proud. You know, be the best pimp you can be. The whole church is praying for me.
Let's pray that Brother Robert gets the role of Silky Good Dick. The film is called Holes on the Stroll. It sounds like a musical.
And then that's when the filmmaker was born. I said, man, we can't let Hollywood tell our stories. We got to tell our own stories. They'll make us do anything and everything. And images travel around the world.
They had a perception of us that ultimately is false.
Welcome back, YouTube. It's your man Ronan, back with another 5-minute Firewatch report. And as always, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for future videos. And salute to the A-Game family. Much love to the A-Game Nation. And today's report deals with being prisoners of perspective. Now, if you've seen the previous commercial, it's no different than out here. And what I mean by being a prisoner of perspective, most times you got people who always put us in this glass prison to humiliate us, to poke fun at us. All these things, or project all their negative energy or their failed attempts of life onto us. And if we allow ourselves to remain in that prison, there's one or two outcomes that could happen, mainly. Now, when it comes down to it, they will use all kind of things. They will actually weaponize your past and use it against you or your current circumstance, because we live in selfie culture. And when you look at it, I get the idea of first impressions are important, and it's true. However, the wise people tend to pick up on patterns. Maybe that person was nervous at the time. Maybe that person was not prepared. All kinds of things could factor into a bad first impression. However, the patterns say a whole lot more. So while we're in this glass prison, the main thing they tend to do is try to dim your masculine light. And when that happens, that's when you're subject to corruption. But I'll get into that. If you're talking about doing this is where you turn your glass prison into your workshop, your pulpit, your gym. This is where you start looking at everything, assessing yourself, looking in the mirror and say, there are some things I need to deal with. I might be overweight. I might not be in the place I need to be. I'm not able to get that promotion. I'm not able to get this or that, being a veteran or civilian. And you start working those things from mainly the top 5 and work all the way down. You handle the top 5, I can guarantee you, you will get that position you're looking for or something better. That's what that works. But see, here's something we don't need to miss. While we have individuals who out there who subscribe to the longest running publication out there, which is Bullshit Illustrated, it's us that are mainly the wardens of our failures and our time in that prison. See, we're guilty of this. We do exercise shaming language, insults, guilt upon ourselves. A lot of times when it comes to the need to be right, it comes at our detriment because we need to validate those negative narratives set against us sometimes. That's when you know you're slipping or being sucked down into that lost value system vortex. What we need to do is exercise a level of humility. We don't need to be arrogant about everything. We just work continuously on ourselves, gradually make it work, and take accountability for what we went through, what we become. Own that shit. Think of it as spiritual jujitsu, where you use the energy from the enemy against them. Use it as fuel. The weight they try to put on your back, you start lifting at it, that shit to become stronger. Then when you learn how to praise yourself, I'm not talking about hubris. I'm talking about learn how to celebrate your wins. When you start shedding that weight, when you start gaining the knowledge and the ability to move to the next level, whatever it might be. Notice when you start seeing them pounds fall off. What else do they have to say? When you're in that position you finally been able to work for, or in a better position, notice all those crickets start chirping. And if they do, it becomes background noise. You're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself, to free yourself. And then you learn how to have empathy. You can feel for others because you was in that position, or you are. That way, instead of becoming a prisoner of perspective, you can be a pillar of persistence. People that can look at that and model that. They'll model that, and you can lead by example. How good does it feel to have people share a testimony of you overcoming the things that were meant to destroy you? That's what's supposed to happen. But see, as a prisoner's perspective, I said there's two ways you can go about it. See, this, I liken this to the story of Reuben Hurricane Carter, wrongfully imprisoned because of a fucked up system. Liken this to your associations, be it a family, and you can use that loosely in certain instances. Your associates, your job, whatever places put you in a position to where you start looking at your spirituality first, getting your spiritual compass right, then working on your health, your family, your appearance, your dwelling, and moving on to the exterior five. Eventually, Reuben found his justice. He took many L's. He had to sacrifice a whole deal in order to get himself back and live his life outside of that prison. Otherwise, you could be like Biscuit from the movie Life. And this right here basically details Biscuit to the finest letter. Mainly got to the point where when he died within that corrupt system. There was no truth. He had no care. He had no love and support, no standard, no peace, no fair structure, no discipline, no loyalty, no limit, and no detachment. He ended up being that cell block bitch. That is not our position, but this is what happens when you allow the lost value system to run your life. You might as well learn how to put Kool-Aid on your lips and your butthole, because you will be Baphomet's bottom. You will be a Facebook fluffer, among other demeaning titles that are unbecoming you as men. That's when you allow your masculine light to diminish to the point where you are no longer your genuine self. And how Biscuit died, it was out in front of everybody, and everybody forgot about him later on. They might have cried because of disappointment, sadness, but life kept going on, and he was forgotten. So I want to say in closing, fellas, one of the greatest quotes that stick to my mind came from a movie called Shawshank Redemption. And it let me know that geology is basically a study of pressure and time. I use these present references because in many ways we talk about spiritual warfare, and we live in a very hyper gynocratic society where they view us as toxic, where they treat us as inmates. They treat us as lesser than. They use us as mules of convenience. Like you have individuals out there pressing license plates for pennies of the dollar. It's not that much different nowadays. However, understanding it's about pressure and time. We're going to know two things ultimately as men, and the world is watching. How much of a steward are you with your time? And what man were you going to become when they apply enough pressure? Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Will you have that internal fire, that fight, that level of resilience like Reuben Hurricane Carter? Or will you resign yourself to be a cell block bitch? Humiliating yourself to the point where you're looking to destroy yourself. See, there are men across the board who have access to wealth, access to celebrity, and all that stuff. And there's guys who cannot afford peace of mind, organic respect. Some, as you see them, they might have the money, but they're functionally homeless because they lost the concept of what the difference is between an actual house, a thriving, well, actually a regular house, and a functioning, thriving home. It's a whole different environment. We choose to either remain prisoners of perspective or we emancipate ourselves to the point we have actual agency. We're free to be who we are, stand on that, move like that, and gain respect for that. So as always, never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. And I salute you guys, my veterans and everything. Get out there and enjoy your weekend. But come Monday morning, change your body clock. Get out here, kick ass, and take names. Tomorrow's my A game day. It should be yours too. So I salute you guys. Semper Fi.